this new series. I'm going to guide you through what I think is the best way to check the bike before you head out for the track day in the comfort of your garage, and see if everything is in order before you go out and go about 300 k's on your bike. And this is what I do and how I usually check my bike before leaving for the track. So we're going to start up here, and what you're looking for is your brake reservoirs. Make sure that the oil in there is fresh, and the important thing is make sure it's not filled all the way up to the top, because it's hydraulics, and if this is full, this means that it will put pressure on your pistons, and when things get hot, this will expand and you will wear your brake pads, and worst case scenario, you can jam your front wheel because the brake will be on. So always half full and ready to go. Feel with your fingers so there's no leaks around it from the hose on the other side. And then we can take the hose here, all the way here. Just feel with your fingers so that you don't have any leaks. The bleeder valve, make sure that there are no leaks there. Around the master cylinder, feel it with your fingers to make sure there's no leaks. And pump your brake and see that it comes to a stop. And then make sure that everything is tight, nothing is loose on your bike. Just feel with your fingers and make sure that your clutch lever is okay. Everything's there. Bar ends, make sure they are nice and tight. Of course, you start the bike, make sure that your batteries are charged. Even if the bike will start now, but if it's been sitting here during winter time, maybe have juice for one start, and then you get to the track and you don't have enough power. That's why I always charge my bike during winter break and bring the charger with me to the track so you don't get stuck. When you get the bike going, I have electronic suspensions, which means that I need to start the bike. Grab both of handles. I can't do this with. Put some brakes on and then press the bike down, the front of the bike, so you get the suspension going up and down. Do this 4 or 5 times. Switch off the bike, and then we go to the suspensions, and here we're checking for leaks. So make sure that your suspension is not leaking anywhere. There's a sealing here, and make sure it's clean, because all these grooves and dirt will get into the seal here and will make it leak after a while. Check the other side as well. You have both sides. Make sure there's no oil residue or any leak here. And since we're in the front wheel, I always check these so they're tight. Same thing at the other end, make sure they're tight. And then onto the front brakes, which is a necessity. And I usually have a flashlight or use my phone to put some light in there, and you can see the wear of your pads. Or if you're unsure, make sure you open these bolts and just wiggle this out. And check your brake pads. You should have plenty of pads. Make sure they're clean and make sure that the pistons are moving. Under no circumstance touch the brake when you have the brake pad in your hand, because you will push the pistons out and you will have brake fluid all over the place. Since we're here, we're checking for this bleeder valve if it's leaking. Nothing there. So we put the brakes on and make sure you fasten these bolts to the specification of your bike. And of course you do this on both sides because you have two brakes. Calipers in the front, So I'll go to the other side and check that it's tight. Check the valve here if it's leaky, oily. Check your brake discs, see if there's any marks or any oily residue on them, both sides. If that's okay, then check underneath your bike. If it's been sitting there, if you have any leak, it will probably drop or drip down underneath. Otherwise, try to feel underneath here where your oil pan is and where your oil drainage is. Make sure that there is no oil residue there, that it's clean and tight. So you shouldn't have any oil on your fingers. And then while we're here, we check the pedals, that they're moving, nothing is loose. These caps, make sure that the screws are not loose behind it. The hose, make sure that it's not leaking. And then we go further down, your foot pedals, footrest, make sure that they are there. Hopefully when you put this on, you put some tread lock on them, so they should be tight, but just feel for them. Make sure that you have the correct adjustment for the chain back here. And then since we have the back sprocket visible, make sure that your drive package is correct, no teeth are missing, nothing is out of the order. And then we go back to the bike, make sure your rear tire is in good condition and you have the right pressure adjusted for the track. Here the rear axle, we'll make sure that it's locked and it's there. And then we move up to the other side. If you have noise problem, make sure you have the DB killer in there. Check that everything is fastened and stuck. Same here. Pump your rear brake, make sure that they are working. Check around the engine covers here, see if there's any leak. Same here around the water pump, leak, and check your oil level to see if everything's correct. And then finally just start up the bike and make sure that it's running. You don't have any missed sounds from the engine, and there's no leak from the exhaust, and hopefully you are ready to go. If you have any questions, please comment below. I'll try to answer that to you. In this series, Road to Track, we'll put up some more videos about how to load your bike to your car and what things are good to bring to the track, and what to do between track sessions, what to do when you come in from the track to the pit, and what to do before you leave the pit. So if you're interested in that, please make sure that you subscribe and ride nicely, and I will get back to you soon.